Hello, this is a brief overview of advanced features of JobBot provided by Postgres AI. I suppose many of you already worked with Slack version of JobBot and enjoyed and found it useful. Today we will talk about Web UI version plus extended features which currently are available for GitLab because of Enterprise Edition version. We will First of all, I suppose you came to this video from this document. So you already saw it and you need this snippet. Notice that there are two snippets, and the second one is for advanced work with Database Lab. If you have direct access, permissions to work with production data directly, you will be able to work with your own thin clones without JobBot abstraction layer. But today we'll cover only JobBot. So please open this snippet and you will find a lot of simple steps. If you just follow them, you can copy it as markdown, create an issue for you, and you will be able to have checkboxes. And these simple steps will allow you to better understand what is possible with JobBot in general. But basically, JobBot allows you to troubleshoot and optimize Postgres queries indirectly working with production data. And the whole idea is based on thin cloning technology. I suppose most of you already know what it is, but just in case, if you don't know, I encourage you reading our documentation. We have Q&A session, and there's basic explanation what thin cloning and copy on write are. You also can check it in Wikipedia or everywhere. This is not something new, but what is new is how we use it for to establish good SQL optimization workflow. If you go to our web Postgres AI interface and in GitLab organization, you need to sign in just using your GitLab.com Google account, gitlab.com. So you will immediately join GitLab organization, and in Ask Joe section, you will find a single available instance, which allows you immediately work with production clones. And each time you have a session with JobBot, you have independent 8 terabyte right now, 8 tomorrow, it should be already almost 9, and so on, because database grows. So you will have full-size clone and the same data as on production. Let's try it. We can start. You have your own query. I will use the simplest query select, and we try to expand this query. As you see, in a few seconds, we already have our database, and the state of the database is this. So it's like a few hours old. And let's check and see that database size is indeed more than 8 terabytes already, right? So we also can check using explain, we can see raw numbers, real raw numbers from production. For example, if I select from projects where ID less than 1000, I will be able to see that Postgres Planner estimates rows as 570, but the real number is not, it's slightly different. This is a real number because actual time, second pair of parentheses is a real number, and it's 514. So right now there are 514 projects with ID less than 1000. This is how you can also check various count numbers for very different, for various conditions filters. And of course, we immediately see a real execution plan, so you can use it. And this plan is guaranteed to be structurally as on production, but as for timing, it's different. Timing here is, we are on a smaller instance in terms of GCP instance. So we have less memory, we have less CPU. Also, file system is different, and we have different state of caches. By the way, don't forget, sometimes you need to run query multiple times to see better timing. But what is always the same is overall amount of data we are dealing with. That's why, like, these numbers will be exactly like on production if we combine both hits and reads. Of course, sometimes planner executor hits the same buffer multiple times, but anyway, the amount of data is the same because it's real data. We really executed this query, so you can trust these numbers. And if you see that to obtain a single number, you need to deal with gigabytes of data, it's not good, of course, and you need to find an index or try to optimize query somehow. Actually, that's it. Let's check another very good opportunity. Like, you can check any DDL. So you can modify database schema using exec command. So we will create some table T1 as select from generate series. Let's say 1000 rows. It will take some time, but not long. So, and we see there is this table. We can read how many rows. Like, again, we can see a simple plan. It's sequential scan. Okay, we see that actual number of rows returned is 100,000, but here we have some slightly different estimate. We can adjust it if we refresh statistics for the table. If we just say analyze using exec command, then we will be able to repeat the same command, and we will see that right now planner already expects very correctly, it expects 100,000 rows. And what I wanted to show you also, how you can reiterate and check some ideas, iterate. In development, it's very important not to wait and start from the scratch multiple times. So reset will relaunch this clone. It will immediately destroy the old one and creates another one implicitly. So right now, if we check this T1 table, of course, we will not find it. Relation is not found because we started from scratch. Again, we have the same data, the same clone, fresh, corresponding to this timestamp on production. This is the magic of Jobot and Database Lab Engine, and it's really helpful when you troubleshoot and optimize queries. But and maybe you already noticed when we are in Web UI, we are talking to Jobot one-to-one, so we don't see any like kind of noise from our colleagues. But if you want to see what your colleagues did, you can use history feature. Both from Slack and Web UI, all queries are recorded to this single line, timeline of commands. So anytime you can open and see details and the plan, JSON format, text format, with execution, without execution, summary. So you see everything, and the query itself, of course. It was command explain, query this, and you can even visualize it using either Depeche or PF2 from Dalibo. These tools are installed here internally, and they are not publicly available unless you decide so. So if you see some email, for example, some sensitive small piece of data in parameters here, this recorded privately, and no one except GitLab team can access it. But sometimes you want to share it in an issue or in a merge request. In this case, you can use this button, and don't forget to save changes, and you will see this link. You can share this link with your colleagues anywhere, but notice that this will be publicly available. So if you don't want to share this, just be careful. And moreover, you can even provide direct link to some visualization tool. So next time someone goes to it without any account, it will be possible to see publicly this plan, the plan visualization, sorry. And let's just hide it again. So it's now private again. Okay, this is it, but history provides much more. You are able to not only to see, for example, all sessions from particular user or from yourself. Your comments will show you only your comments. You also are able to see, for example, plans that troubleshooting and optimization sessions which have, for example, events word. So you can find description of this index. It's not only queries, but anything that had the word events. And finally, if you check this, for example, if you see this query, you can try to find similar, and you will find all queries which look structurally the same. It doesn't mean that all of them have the same execution plan, because execution plan depends not only on query but also on data. But you will find all queries that look the same except concrete values. So we remove values, remove limit of set values also, and then just find the same queries. And as you can see here, we had author ID this, but here it's different. And here we had project, but here we had group. It's also a value. And you can mark some of them as favorite, and you see a couple of them are marked. So you see anytime you can see all favorites. So just regular functionality. So it's kind of advanced navigation for the past sessions. And I hope it will be helpful to reuse and not to solve the same problem twice and reuse somehow previous knowledge and aggregate knowledge better. Also, visualization tools, you may find it's useful to have it always enabled. And navigation and history, past and history also should be good. Actually, I suppose that's it. The one final comment is that if you have any questions, please in your Slack find this channel, and you can ask any questions anytime. I encourage you doing so. And if you just don't understand something or something is not working, it happens sometimes, please ask questions. We will be happy to help you. Thank you so much. Have a good one.